Hi everyone, this is Tracy from We Craft at Home, and today we are going to do pop-up boxes. I'm going to start off by showing you how to do it in canvas so that you can design your own, and then we can do it all different sizes. So the project we're actually doing is this one with a really big box. Let's pull it back a bit. I'm going to show you how you can manage to do the scalloped edges instead of just normal straight box edges. Again, you don't have to do that, but I'm going to show you how to do it if you want to know. And I just wanted to show you, I've done another one a bit smaller, a bit brighter. It's like an Easter one. And that just shows you can do them any size you like. It doesn't matter, and they all fold flat. This one I've designed so it'll fit in a 6x6, and the other one fits in an 8x8. But obviously you can do it any size you like. You can do them so that they're rectangle, they don't have to be square. You can do like 3x2 or I don't know, whatever size you want. But yeah, I'm going to show you how to do it in Scan and Cut, and then the canvas workspace, and then we'll make it together and I'll show you how to put it together. Okay then, let's get started.
Hi, this is Tracy from We Craft at Home, and today I'm going to show you how to make your own template to do a pop-up box with layers. So let's just put all this to the side and let's get going. So we need to start off with a square. We're going to need this in a while, so let's bring it out now. So all we're basically doing is drawing lines in the square. It ends up as an 8x8, so we'll fit into the envelope. But first of all, we need to mark out how score lines and cutting lines. So we'll start off with the score line that goes across the entire middle. So the path tool, click, hold shift, across to the other side and double click. Change it to a score line. Now for this one we can just make sure that it's in the middle by clicking the align buttons. We know that it is, so we're going to move it up to 1 so that I can use the X and Y to make sure everything is in the spot it's meant to be in. So we have that. We don't want to group. Now we need one cut line down the middle, so because this is on line 1 there and the middle is 4, we need to cut on line 4. Now 5, sorry. So path tool again, double click, do not change this one because we need it to be a cut line. As you can see, it's on 504, so it does need moving. 104, so it does need moving. The Y is on 1 and the X is on 5. So now we need a score in the same place but the bottom of the box because we don't want that cut. So this time we change it to a score line. Oh, and I've done it spot on 5. That's pretty good, isn't it? It says it needs to go up a little bit. So that's the main aspect of it. Now we're going to add the edge in, and what I'm going to do is just use the numbers because it's more precise. Now we're going to come over there and we want to change that to a 4, and I'm going to go in close and make sure I've got it spot on so it can come out a little bit and down a little bit. There we go. So now we get both because we haven't grouped yet, so we grab just the box and the tab and we're going to weld that. And then we're going to get our path tool and do a score line there. So from that corner down to that corner. Double click, score line. And it should be spot on the 1. There we go. So we know we're all right there. Now display, zoom to mat size. A couple of things. First of all, we need some lines. I don't like sticking the tabs inside. I want to feed them through the box, because on the outside we can cover it with a layer, a mat. So I'm now going to concentrate on this box here, because that's where I want to put them. So if you can see closely, the grid is up, and you can see we have 3 lines there. They're an inch down, but there's 1, 2, 3. I'm going to use them. So I'm going to draw one line, and I know it's the entire box to be an inch. It tells me I've gone a little bit over an inch, but I'm not too worried about that. Now there I need to change to 6, and the Y I need to change to 6. I'd rather go over than under. I know that's in the right spot, but now I'm going to duplicate and duplicate, and then this one I want to move over here, and I'm going to make sure that it is 8 and 6 so that I know it's in the right spot. And then we're going to grab these 2, so shift and click on both of them. Now I know I want them at the top, so I'm going to use the align to make sure that they're all at the top, and then I'm going to use distribute evenly. We already know the outside 2 are in the right place, so now we've done that, we know it's put the third one in the exact spot we need it, and that is our 3 lines. Now if you don't want to cut them, you don't need to do this bit. So display, zoom to mat size, and now we're going to do a nice frilly edge. Now you can use whatever patterns you like. If you go right down to the bottom, you've got these that you can do a pattern across if you don't want it to be rounded, but I kind of like the round effect, so I went with this one. Yes. And it needs to be at 4 because the panel is 4 wide. I also need a rectangle. I'm going to need 2 of them, but I've got to do this first. Now I'll show you why, so that you, well, I'll try and explain. If I want to do, as you can see here, that's how I've done it, okay? You see where it fits over. But if I done it at the moment with this, most of the square swallows it up. So what it would do, if I try to subtract it, would just take it away. It wouldn't work. What we need to do is cover half of it and make the box a little bit smaller. Again, we haven't grouped it all yet, because if you group it and try and do anything like these process overlaps, if you try and do anything with dotted lines grouped into it, it won't work. So if we subtract and then do it, and we know we need 2 of them, and then again we're going to go in a bit closer. Just going to move it over a little bit so we can see it all. We know first of all that needs to come over, so does that one. That's about right. We're going to grab them both and make sure that they're in the same spot together. So I've done through the middle that way, and I think that's about right. I'm just going to lift it up 1. I'm not sure about that. So that I know that it's in the middle. Okay, and then what we're going to do is add the box. So shift and add the box and weld. And there you have the nice pretty pattern. But if you want to do layers, it looks a bit hard to do. So what I've done, we'll come out again, display, zoom to mat size. We're going to use the box only, and offset an inward line. I've used 0.12. It depends how much space you want. Click OK, and then what we're going to do is get that rectangle back. Where did it go? There we go. And we are going to get rid of everything just above, or anything below the first dotted line, and we want to go just above so that it's a little bit smaller, like the rest of it, you see, just a little bit. Click on them both and subtract. And then the one last thing we've got to do, one more rectangle. Come in a little bit. And you want to go over. I think maybe a little bit more. Click both, make sure it's centralized downward, and that you've gone over the line of the topper, and subtract and divide, and there you have your two toppers. So what we're going to do is, if you cut them all out, actually what we'll do before anything else, if you don't want this, if you want to change this cut line, you can just make it a bit smaller just by clicking on it and going down. There we go. So that's done. Display, zoom to mat size, and group, just so that you know it's going to stay together now in the right place. So for each one you have the box and two layers, which are not all going to fit on one sheet. I apologise for that. I thought I'd worked it so it would. But anyway, so you need 4 layers and 2 boxes, and once you've cut that out, I will see you over at the craft table. Just a very quick one before we go to the craft desk. I forgot to tell you how to do the tabs. Sorry about that. So I've got a rectangle and the tab bar. And all you need, we're going to click off maintain aspect ratio, and we want the height at 1 inch and the width at 4 inches, because it is 4 inches across like this. And then the tabs are going to be what go through the slits. So again, we want that at 270. We're going to bring it down. Actually, if we do, it's the width, isn't it? At 1 inch, and then we're going to go moving close, and make sure it fits over. We can bring this down a hell of a lot. We want it quite wide though, so there's plenty to go through. And then we are going to layer, duplicate and flip, and pull it the other side. Now what we can do here, which we couldn't do on the box, was fit them all so that they align through the middle, so we know they're in the right spot. And then that one needs to go in a tiny bit, should do it, because they need to be overlapping slightly. We weld, and then we need 2 score lines. That's better. So the other score line, and then group it together. And obviously you need 3 for each box, so you can cut them together as well. Display is into match size, so you need 3 tabs. Layer, duplicate, layer, duplicate. 3 tabs for each box. Don't cut the side, it's for each whole box. Okay, so now I will see you over at the craft table.
Okay guys, so I'm over at the craft table. I've cut out some bits. The other thing you're going to need is to do yourself some acetate strips to stick everything on. Before we stick this together, I want to stick the first tabs in. So I'm just going to stick them in like this. Just slot them through. There we go. And then I'm just going to turn it over and deal with it on this side. So just stick them down. Just so we know that that side is drying and ready to go. Now if you want, you could put a bit of tape across there, but if you make sure these are all in one straight line as well, the glue doesn't really matter if it makes a mess, because we'll be covering that up. Okay, so now if you don't do what I just did and make sure you glue them the right way round, so that they're going to be on the inside of the box and not the outside of the box. Okay, so now we're going to stick that to that like that. I'm going to use, I've got high tack tape on already, but I'm also going to do a little bit of glue so that I've got a bit of slide to fit it into place properly. If I can get the thing off. I know that this isn't the red high tack, but it's a really good one. I think it's better than red, and it's thinner. So I'm just going to do a little bit of glue too, so that we can wiggle it on. We don't want it going over there. And we'll make sure that it's on the crease properly. There we go, like that. So that's that one. Obviously we can't put the other sticks in until we've stuck it together, but it's a bit easier just to put the first ones in first. I know these boxes have been around for yonks, and you know, everyone can show you how to make them. I just like when I was deciding what design to use with this, I was going to start with flowers. I started cutting out flowers and I was like, do you know what? Everybody does these boxes with flowers. So how about we try something different? So I've gone a little bit different. Okay, so there is the main part of our card. Oh, let's just make sure it's stuck firmly. And then we'll put the other tabs through. Still not sticking great. So, slot them through. Okay, so you would leave that to dry properly, but I just wanted to show you on the video. So they're through properly. And then when you do them straight, they'll be like that. So now we can fold it back down while we put the glue on the tabs. Just pull that through a bit more. I prefer putting them through tabs and gluing them on the other side because they're more secure. I feel like they could possibly unstick and come off if you just stick them inside the box. I know that's what everyone does, but I just felt better this way. So if you want to do it that way, you're more than welcome. Okay, so this is the backing. I just got it off Paper Boutique Spring Delights. I added a bit extra to this one because it's the back and you see more. So I wanted it to go down a bit further. So and what I'd done before I cut it out, I took the score line off of this so that it didn't score, because that'll be the backing panel which we don't score. And then I've got all the backing papers here, so from the same book. I just, obviously the colours are very good, they match well. So there's the start. We've got that on the back and the 3 panels there, and then we're going to do the squares. So what I've done, I always think that the nice sort of teal colour goes lovely with purple. So I've done a teal and then just a purple, it's a 12 by 12 paper pad I had. I just cut 3 of them, because we only need 3. So and then that hides where we've put the mess of the tabs. And I would leave the back, because if I that is where I would put the verse, or, you know, somewhere for someone to sign. So far we have the box and the panels all decorated. So now it's just like decorating it to your, you know, desire of what you want coming out of the box. Just keep folding it until it goes right. So I've got a few little bits that I've been doing. I love these feathers. I can't remember where I got it, to be honest. And what I would use is, to be honest, glue dots to put on the ornaments, and also to stick it down. I mean, you could use glue, but glue is going to take a while to dry, and it might move and what have you. So I've just got a string of glue dots, and stick it to the acetate, and then actually work out how far you want it to come up, because some are going to go low, some are going to go high, and I want this to be a bit angled as well, sort of there. So I know I need it about there. So there we go. There's the first one. And I had another feather. It's probably staring me right in the face. Oh, there it is. And I'll do that going the other way. So another glue dot. Now I did cut out this little girl with headphones that I thought I could put there, but I might actually put her in front of the feathers. Yeah. I cut a little bow out of, for some reason the ink is coming off. I don't know why that's happening. I drew it out and then cut it, but the ink is fading. I don't know what's happened there, and I thought that might look nice there, like that. Maybe a real bow. Yeah, I might have a look at putting a real bow on that. So I'll leave that for the back. And then I've got like some musical notes, because the girl had headphones on. I don't know if you can see, it's one of those cherished darlings. She's got headphones on. So maybe if I put her there with musical notes in front of her, or behind them. What do you think? Behind? Yeah, I'm going to do behind. So that means I want the glue dots in the front. I'm going to put 2 on here because it's quite a heavy ornament. Let's try the glue. Okay, so then it's just adding all the stuff that you've got. I've got a happy birthday, which I also drew out, and don't know what's happened, but the writing seems to be disappearing. So I'll draw that out again. But that can go on 2 bits of acetate, and or you could just, actually, that might look nice just down there on pads. Yeah, I like that idea. And then I've just got loads of swirls, and I've got this as well. I was going to see if that, maybe ink it up a bit, or just put it like that and see. I don't know. It wouldn't all go, would it? So we'd have to, maybe 3 of them. And then you just play around, really, and put whatever you want on there and see what happens. Got another musical note there in the purple. Maybe put some of the swirls or some more musical notes on the 2 side panels, and put some flowers on there. I've got some of my punches. I was going to put flowers on there, so maybe you could do that. So it got it a bit caught up there. So like that, and add some flowers. Do one each side. Yeah, so that is how you can do it. Sorry, I would have done all this, but my ink seems to have wiped off for some reason. Never had that happen before. But yeah, I would put the happy birthday there, and maybe a couple of flowers top and bottom, some gems because it's a young girl. Again with that, I would have put it coming out like this, just so that it was a bit extra. Yeah, so enjoy making your box. I'd love to see some samples. I was thinking make a nice Easter with yellows and greens, maybe some daffodils or whatever. So obviously Mother's Day is always a good time to do these. So have some fun. Like I said, I'd love to see some pictures. If you don't want to do the canvas bit, I will put the file on my website for you, so you can go and download it for free. I will see you next week. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.